I interned through the Television Academy Foundation in 2005. There was a category called the reality category, and at that time, I'd been doing some reality television stuff on campus in college, and so I thought this might be the perfect fit, and it was absolutely the ideal fit because I ended up getting my first real job in Los Angeles after I graduated from college because my intern host from then ended up hooking me up with a gig over at Fox Reality Channel at the time. So that initial internship was my first chance to come to Los Angeles, and now I'm still here all these years later. If you want to host, if you want to be on camera doing interviews and whatnot, it's never been easier. Like, we've got our cell phones that have fantastic cameras on them, right? You just take that camera on out. You see everybody walking around with those little tiny microphones on TikTok and on Instagram. It's so easy to do man on the street stuff these days. And so if you just start off by doing that, and then if you do want to get into doing some of the entertainment personality, hosting red carpet things, again, you just reach out to publicists, you just reach out to different categories of television shows that you want to be associated with, and you show them that you've done this before. You show them a link to your YouTube channel, to your TikTok, to your Instagram. There have never been more avenues for you to be able to get into hosting than there are now. When I first started working in Los Angeles, there was one main idea. Like, I thought that when I grew up, I wanted to be an entertainment host on E! News. Like, that was the ideal. But then as time went on, you started to see less just professional hosts jumping on into that and more television personalities getting recruited and then turning into hosts from that way, more celebrities jumping on in. So there were absolutely moments at that time during that sort of transition where I felt like, is there still space for me? Like, because I'm not from a boy band and I wasn't a star on a reality television show. Like, is there still space for somebody who just likes to host to be able to get out there and to be a host? And what I found is the answer is yes, you can still do it. One of the things for me that ended up helping was somebody once told me, try to find a niche. Like, think about something that really does drive you, something that you're passionate about, something that you could nerd out over and just talk for minutes on minutes or hours on hours on a microphone for, and then dive into that. So an opportunity came up for me to start working in the technology space, so to start hosting tech programs. And so by jumping on into that then ended up opening up new doors for me. So now I can do tech, now I can also do entertainment, I can do pop culture and all those things that are actually interesting to me. But I didn't realize that sometimes by niching, they would say like the riches are in the niches. My favorite gigs to do is actually working right here at the Emmys because you get a chance to kind of go through a hosting boot camp. People are coming on up and you don't always have a lot of time to look through the cards and to like study up on these questions because you don't always know who's coming through. You don't know who's going to win. So you just want to be prepared. So for me, the best way to be prepared is to watch as much television as possible. Like, I'm reading the trades, I'm looking at Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Vulture, listening to all the different podcasts that I can absolutely get on in. And yet, even after all of that, there are still people who come on up where I'm like, oh, wow, okay, hold on. What's that thing that I wanted to ask? So for me, if I don't know what I want to ask a person, and then even just to keep it alive and fresh, I just look at them and start trying to feed off of their energy. And whether that's like a place setting question, like, oh my gosh, like, you've got this fresh new Emmy. What was the energy like when you got up on stage to accept this? And that's something so fresh that only they know the answer to right there. So they're paying attention, I'm leaning on in. And then also while I'm listening to them think about that, I can also be thinking about what's the next thing that I want to take that they just said and then run on. So it's really all about the listening.